Okay, squad, today's video is about intuitive eating. So, seeing a lot of questions about this. In my opinion, it's really more of a psychological strategy when it comes to health and nutrition. Now, don't take my word for it. So there, can you see it? No, you can't. All right, the 10 principles of intuitive eating. All right, so I thought we'd go over them one at a time. The first one is reject the diet mentality. Throw out the diet books and magazines and articles that offer you false hope of losing weight quickly, easily, and permanently. Get angry at diet culture that promotes weight loss and the lies that have led you to feel as if you were a failure every time a new diet stopped working and you gained back all the weight. If you allow even one small hope to linger that a new and better diet or food plan might be lurking around the corner, it will prevent you from being free to rediscover intuitive eating. I don't know what's happening with that. I don't fully understand. Like, if you're talking about fad diets, like, by all means, yes, abandon it. If we're talking about diet as in what it actually means, what we eat regularly on a regular basis, and knowing that we should eat better for you foods more often than not and not over consume them. Like, I just don't love the whole, like, fuck you diet mentality. Like, I just, this is where we sort of, it's like doth protest too much. You know what I mean? It's like healthy at any size. I love being a size 16. I mean, again, like, I don't care if somebody is a size 16. It doesn't mean I don't love them, care about them, feel they're worthy or deserving, but it does mean they're not healthy. And if you really care about somebody, you want them to be healthy. So this kind of mentality is like a little angry. Don't love coming from that headspace. But let's say, like, okay, fine. Let's just put that aside. Honor your hunger. All right, what does that mean? Keep your body biologically fed with adequate energy and carbohydrates. Otherwise, you can trigger a primal drive to overeat. Primal. Okay. Once you reach the moment of excessive hunger, all intentions of moderate conscious eating are fleeting and irrelevant. That's close to true, actually. Learning to honor this first biological signal sets the stage for rebuilding trust in yourself and food. All right. So the truth of the matter is, when we do skip meals, right, we've talked about this, we can become overly hungry. And that's because your body is like, yo, you need to eat. Hi, I'm hungry. Hello. And it releases hunger hormones. So then all of a sudden, food actually tastes better. We've seen studies that show us when we become overly hungry, food tastes better, and it can cause us to overeat. We've all been there. I know when I skip my snack between lunch and dinner, dinner becomes a hell of a lot bigger than it would have been. So yeah, you don't want to miss meals. That's bad. Don't skip meals. Don't starve yourself. I'm not quite sure what biologically fed with adequate energy and carbohydrates mean, because that's a sweeping generalization. If you're trying to lose weight, you can keep your body biologically fed with proper foods on, I mean, as low as 1,200, which I've said is the absolute floor, especially if you are obese. 1,400, 1,600. I mean, most people shouldn't really, most women, especially women like higher in age, shouldn't really be eating over 1,600 calories a day. It's too much oxidative stress. Our metabolism isn't that fast. I mean, we just don't need that much food. So I'm a little bit like, yes, don't skip meals. Don't let yourself get overly hungry. Totally legit. But if you're trying to lose weight, guys, the whole point is to actually not eat adequate energy, but create an energy deficit so that your body goes to its fat stores, which is stored energy. Now, if you're in maintenance mode, yes. Make peace with food. Okie doke. Call a truce with the food fight. Give yourself unconditional permission to eat. Holy balls. Don't do that. If you tell yourself that you can't or shouldn't have a particular food, it can lead to intense feelings of deprivation that build into uncontrollable cravings and often binging when you finally give in to your forbidden foods. Eating will be experienced with such intensity that it usually results in the Last Supper overeating and overwhelming guilt. Okay. I mean, I'm not religious. I have no idea what Christ ate at his Last Supper. I don't think he gorged himself, but who knows? I don't even understand these references. This is just so intense and hostile that it's like, give yourself unconditional permission to eat. What if I said, give yourself unconditional permission to drink or smoke or spend money you don't have? Like, what the heck are you talking about there? No, you don't get unconditional permission to eat. It's called self-control, right? Like balance. Yeah, sometimes we eat more. The next day we eat a little bit less. You don't beat yourself up if you have a candy bar. You don't beat yourself up if you have a bag of candy bars. But the goal is not to give yourself permission to eat the bag of candy bars. And if you are mad at yourself for eating the bag of candy bars, then it's because you know you could do better. You know you deserve better, and you know it's better for you. Stop with this. Stop it. Don't give yourself unconditional permission to eat. Just like you wouldn't give yourself unconditional permission to max out credit cards. It's not healthy, mentally or physically. And don't beat yourself up over food either. It's called balance. There's no extremes here. It's not black or white. It's called balance, which means, like, yeah, have the cookie, not the box. Have a slice of pizza with a salad, not 8 slices of pizza with a Coke. Like, come on, balance. That's where it's at. Because yes, if you do deprive yourself, yeah, the pendulum will swing back the other way. So don't deprive yourself, but don't go hog wild either. This is like, okay, deprivation is bad. And you're right. Psychologically, it can send you spinning. But then we don't go, all right, if the extreme's over here, we're going to live in this extreme over here. The answer is the middle. The middle. Challenge the food police. Okay. Scream a loud no to thoughts in your head that declare you're good for eating minimal calories or bad because you ate a piece of chocolate cake. I'm with this. The food police monitor the unreasonable rules that diet culture has created. The police station is housed deep in your psyche, and its loudspeaker shouts negative barbs, hopeless phrases, guilt-provoking indictments. Chasing the food police away is a critical step in returning to intuitive eating. Okay. I mean, no, you shouldn't beat yourself up. You shouldn't. I mean, we're human. We've talked about this a lot. So I guess I'm okay with this one. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. Don't do that. It doesn't serve a purpose. And if you do, remember that it just means you believe you're capable of more. I know my kids are coming. Here they come. They're coming. The dog's going crazy. We can never just get through a video without chaos ensuing around here. But that's part of COVID. It's the charm of working from home. Discover the satisfaction factor. The Japanese have the wisdom to keep pleasure as one of their goals of healthy living. In our compulsion to comply with diet culture, we often overlook one of the most basic gifts of existence, the pleasure and satisfaction that can be found in the eating experience. When you eat what you really want in an environment that's inviting, the pleasure you derive will be a powerful force in helping you feel satiated and content. By providing yourself with this experience, you'll find it takes the right amount of food to decide you've had enough. I love this. Agree. It's like saying sex is just for making babies. You know what I mean? Like, you should enjoy your food. I'm totally with this. I'm not of the ilk that food is just fuel. I think you should enjoy your food. Agree completely. I'm with them. Feel your fullness. In order to honor your fullness, you need to trust that you'll give yourself the foods that you desire. Okay? Listen for the body signals that tell you you're no longer hungry. Observe the signs that show you you're comfortably full. Pause in the middle of eating. Ask yourself how the food tastes and what your current hunger level is. Here's the thing. If we were feeling our feelings of fullness, we wouldn't be reading about intuitive eating. Because when we override our physical signals of fullness, it's because something else is happening up here. Now, I mean, I've often said, hey guys, pause. Think it through, by taking a minute and questioning yourself. How do I feel? Am I full? Am I really hungry? Do I have cravings? You're shifting the part of your brain from impulse and emotion to reason, right? And logic. You're literally going from the amygdala, which is impulse, to the frontal lobe, which is like, yo, think about it, right? So I'm going to give this okay, I don't think it's as simple as you're saying, but let's definitely pause, ask some questions, and take it a step further. If we keep eating, how are we going to feel? Better or worse? Like physically sick, overstuffed, heartburn, kind of disappointed in ourselves, which, by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We can be disappointed in ourselves if we know we could do better. Beat yourself up, think less of yourself, devalue yourself, give up and quit. No, but be like, all right, I can do better next time. Like, there's a lot of things where I screw up and think I can do better next time, and that's okay. Nobody's perfect. Now, cope with your emotions with kindness. All right, first, recognize that food restrictions, both physically and mentally, can, in and of itself, trigger loss of control. Okay, which can feel like emotional eating. Sounds like it is emotional eating. Find ways to comfort, nurture, distract, and resolve your issues. Like it. Anxiety, loneliness, boredom, and anger are emotions we all experience throughout life. So true. Each has its own trigger. and its own appeasement. Food won't fix any of its feelings. It may comfort you in the short term, distract from the pain, or even numb you, but it won't solve the problem. And if anything, eating for emotional hunger may only make you feel worse in the long run. Ultimately, you have to deal with the source of the emotion. Okay, love this, but I mean, like, this paragraph is like a book. People, it's years of therapy. Totally agree, but it's not as simple as principle number 7, right? Like, people would give me shit constantly. Oh, the contestants, they gained their weight back. All right, 65% of them did. 35% of them kept it off. Of everybody who wasn't on the Biggest Loser show, the statistics for keeping weight off, 95% gain it back, 5% keep it off. So believe it or not, the contestants on Biggest Loser were actually ahead of the game. That's how hard it is to keep weight off. And the reason is not because you're weak, Liz, you're stupid, or because eating less and moving more doesn't work in the long term. That's not the case. It's because what's causing you to overeat in the first place is not resolved. And that's why losing weight, actually very simple. Eat less, move more. Is it easy? No. Because when we overeat or we have issues with food and utilize food as a coping mechanism, which I myself do. Why do you think I'm in this business? Because I had to battle my own demons as a kid. So I understand it, and I understand it without judgment. We all have crutches. For some of us, it's food. So it can't just be like, yo, don't eat when you're angry. That's like ridiculous. Just love yourself more. What, wake up tomorrow? Like, it takes work, years of working on yourself. So while this is great, it's not as simple as this, but it is definitely crucial to work on if you utilize food as a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism. You know what? I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, to be dead honest, because there's a lot. In fact, I should write a book. I'm doing another video. Respect your body. Like it. Accept your genetic blueprint, okay? Just as a person with a shoe size of 8 wouldn't expect to realistically squeeze into a size 6, it is equally futile and uncomfortable to have a similar expectation about body size. Agree. But mostly, respect your body so you can feel better about who you are. Agree. It's hard to reject the diet mentality if you're unrealistic and overly critical of your body, size, or shape. All bodies deserve dignity. Agree. Nothing to say there. Movement. Feel the difference. Forget militant exercise. Not sure what that means. What does that mean? Just get active and feel the difference. Shift your focus to how it feels when you move your body, rather than the calorie-burning effect of exercise. If you focus on how you feel from working out, such as energized, it can make the difference between rolling out of bed for a brisk morning walk or hitting the snooze alarm. Okay, I'm going to say everybody's different here. Some people want results quick. If you want results quick, then you should focus on the calorie-burning types of exercise. And this is what I do. I create programs that deliver results quick by utilizing certain techniques in a certain way that deliver results. And then people get results, they feel motivated, it changes their belief in their ability and their self-image, so it works out really great. On the other hand, if you're like, I would rather be dead than do squat jumps with Jillian Michaels today, then you're not going to show up for it, and that's a problem. So if the most important thing is you show up. You're going to show up for a hike, a bike, a walk, a swim, a dance class. It might not be the most effective form of fitness, but it's a heck of a lot better than nothing, especially if you show up regularly. So I'm kind of with this one too. But I will not negate that there are definitely forms of fitness that will give you far better results at a far faster pace. And if they don't intimidate you, like, why not get the great benefits? Movement, feel the difference. Did that one. Okay, last one, team. We're almost there. Honor your health, gentle nutrition. Make food choices that honor your health and taste buds while making you feel good. Cool. Remember that you don't have to eat perfectly to be healthy. Agree. You'll not suddenly get a nutrient deficiency or become unhealthy from one snack or a meal or one day of eating. True. It's what you eat consistently over time that matters. Agree. Progress, not perfection. That's what counts. Couldn't agree more. However, this is also in direct opposition to the, eat whatever the hell you want, unconditional permission to eat. So here's the deal. I get it. I do. This is like, hey, probably written by a person that has felt absolutely crucified by diet culture, less than, picked herself apart, possibly had an eating disorder, most likely. Totally get it. To be dead honest with you, issues like that don't just come from diet culture. They exacerbate the problem. But a lot of times they are reflective of deeper criticisms that came from way earlier on in our life, right? The person we were never good enough for, the person that didn't love us the way we needed, the person that criticized us and picked us apart, and then we were vulnerable and susceptible to re-victimizing ourselves by becoming vulnerable to diet culture. Not everybody becomes vulnerable to diet culture, guys. There's a reason some of us are more prone than others. I actually personally was not prone to diet culture, but I was a chubby kid that used food, emotionally speaking. So this is way more of a psychological strategy. Now, what I don't like is it does negate some of the basic science of losing weight. And the problem is that when people try to lose weight and they don't, well then yeah, they get angry, they get defensive, they blame themselves, and it begets the problem that you're saying to ignore. But if we just let them lose weight in a healthy way with the right information, then we wouldn't have to feel like a loser with diet culture. And there doesn't need to be a diet culture. Shouldn't be a fad diet. It should just be common sense eating. Don't overeat, and yeah, move your body. So ultimately, you gotta employ the approach that works best for you, emotionally and physically, right? That's why I have a million diet plans in my app, because, well, I want you to eat less, and I want you to do common sense eating, and I want you to get the most nutrients. If you're vegan, you're vegan. So it's my job to make sure we're getting like as much of the good omega-3s as we can, and we're getting as much absorbable iron as we can. I mean, I'm here to support you, right? Your approach to this is going to be individualized. Diet is like a religion. So to me, I'm like, all right, if we don't eat garbage and we don't overeat, then I can tailor your food choices, whether you want to be gluten-free or you want to be vegetarian or you want to be pescatarian, to make it work for you. And your psychological strategy is the same. Your fitness strategy is the same. There's a reason I have yoga, kickboxing, HIIT training, cardio, body weight, like every friggin' workout under the sun that I've put out there in the world is because I want it to work for you. What's most important is that you're going to show up for it. That's the most important thing, is that you show up consistently for the meal plan, for the fitness plan. And how we do that is by understanding your emotions. So, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach. That's all. Take each and every principle, utilize what works for you, and leave what doesn't, right? And don't swing the pendulum to the other side because diet culture's over here, so you're like, fuck it all. That's a terrible idea. Terrible. Find the middle.